offseason, buddy. How was day one of spring camp?
Yeah, we're back. It was, I thought it was a really good day. You know, I think a lot of the guys were chomping at the bit there to get out there, and I thought some of the guys that we were really high on coming in, I thought some of them really showed out, and you know, I think it's a completely different team out here. You know, coaching staff is a little bit different, you know, organization is a little bit different, and a lot of the players out here are different, and they're playing at a high level.
I think a lot of us were excited to see the compete level here today, and you guys had a little early competition and competing. And how do you like your compete level from your team today?
I loved it. You know, a couple of the new guys getting a win and not being afraid to show their passion and, you know, what they want the VI Raiders to be. That's the thing I've been kind of stressing to guys is, you know, this team is completely new, so, you know, leaders are going to emerge. And I thought through the competition period, the King of the Bag and some of the one-on-ones, like the guys brought the heat, and I thought it was a really, really impressive day, and I thought just the whole vibe of the team was really awesome today.
We talked about the long off season. You guys started your recruiting process pretty early, Shawn. And for the first time, you guys were able to see these guys out in person and your guys' schemes and stuff like that. How exciting was that for you guys and your coaching staff?
Yeah, I mean, it's the best part. It's a long time looking at names on spreadsheets and, you know, thinking about putting guys in different places, and we're going to move some guys around tomorrow as well. And, you know, we're still missing 15 to 20 guys out here today and a lot of starters. So, you know, we're really excited about the group we had, and, you know, it's just, I feel like we have a really good personal connection with the recruits we brought in, with the guys that are still around with this team. You know, that's the kind of the message we sent to them is the guys that are brought in, you know, brought in with a purpose. There's no fluff guys here. There's no guys just to make sure we get 100 guys at camp. Everyone we brought in, we have a personal connection with, and really excited to see.
How do you guys kind of carry over some of the positives from last year while also not being satisfied for what you guys did last year?
Yeah, I mean, one, just not making the playoffs is kind of the biggest thing there, and it's really just, it's just a standard that the coaching staff is trying to hold for the whole team. Is we expect to win every game, and, you know, expect to be champions. Whether we do become champions, everything we do, we're trying to embody that in practice, in the gym, you know, in our speed training and everything. So as long as we kind of do our part as a staff and the leaders lead, and, you know, we walk around like champions, then I think good things are going to happen at the end of the day.
And as young head coach, I know last year you talked about leaning on your staff a lot. This year you have the, you know, additions of you know, offensive line coaches, a few more offensive line coaches, Warren obviously, Carrick coming up from Victoria. How has that been for you for a young head coach and also leaning on your staff to be able to trust them?
Yeah, I mean, I think Tarek's cut my work basically in half, so it's nice to kind of come out here and just focus on coaching when some of the things are handled behind the scenes. You know, Trevor Bowles is doing an incredible job with the O-line, like 10 minutes early before we've even talked to the team yet. The O-line as a group is getting there working with Coach Trevor, and, you know, it was awesome having Coach Coos out here again too. And I just think we have a really, really great staff. And again, I think the connection that the staff is going to be able to make with the kids is going to be the biggest difference in terms of team chemistry and buy-in.
And on the weekend, what are some goals you guys have for the rest of the weekend here?
Honestly, the three things that we talked about at the start were, one, you know, there's a couple guys here that we're trying to evaluate if they're going to be on the team or not. So it's kind of watching the film and evaluating those guys. Two, figuring out depth charts, because not everyone will be here in May and June. So figuring out the guys that we want to really focus on when it comes to July. And then number three, just, you know, focusing on embodying a champion in spring camp and as soon as we hit the season as well. So those are kind of our three goals of the camp, and I think, you know, day one, I thought we did a great job getting close to achieving those, and you know, I'm really excited for Saturday and Sunday.